In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro delves into the political fallout following President Joe Biden's controversial decision to grant a blanket pardon to his son, Hunter Biden. This unprecedented move has sparked outrage among Democrats and Republicans alike, raising questions about the implications for both the Biden family and the integrity of American political institutions. Shapiro begins by likening Biden's pardon of Hunter to the historical pardon of Richard Nixon by Gerald Ford, suggesting that it serves to shield the Biden family from scrutiny regarding potential corruption. He argues that the pardon is not merely a protective measure for Hunter, but also a strategic maneuver to insulate Joe Biden from future legal challenges, particularly with the incoming Trump administration potentially investigating the Biden family's financial dealings. Shapiro emphasizes the unprecedented nature of this pardon, noting that it covers a broad range of potential offenses, including those that have not yet been charged. The podcast highlights the reactions from various legal experts who describe the pardon as unusually expansive and unprecedented in American history. Shapiro points out that Biden's decision to bypass the standard procedures for issuing a pardon raises further questions about the motivations behind it. He speculates that Biden's actions reflect a deep-seated fear of accountability, particularly as investigations into Hunter's activities loom. As the news broke, Shapiro notes that Biden's administration has been largely silent on the matter, with the president avoiding questions from the press. He contrasts this with the vocal criticism from within the Democratic Party, where some members express concern that the pardon undermines public trust in the justice system. Shapiro cites Senator Michael Bennet's remarks, which suggest that Biden's actions prioritize personal interests over duty, further eroding faith in the fairness of the justice system. Shapiro also discusses the broader implications of the pardon for political norms in America. He argues that the Democrats have been breaking established norms for years, and Biden's pardon represents a new low in the erosion of these standards. He warns that this could set a dangerous precedent where future presidents may feel compelled to issue pardons to protect themselves and their families from political retribution. The podcast shifts focus to the role of the Department of Justice, DOJ, in the Biden administration. Shapiro argues that the DOJ has been politicized, particularly in its handling of investigations involving the Biden family. He points out that while Biden claims his son was unfairly targeted, the reality is that Hunter Biden has received leniency from the DOJ, which has been criticized for its handling of the case. Shapiro highlights the hypocrisy in Biden's statements, noting that while he decries selective prosecution, his administration has benefited from it. Shapiro also addresses the media's double standards in reporting on the Biden administration compared to the Trump administration. He argues that the media has largely ignored the corruption within the Biden family while scrutinizing Trump relentlessly. This, he claims, reflects a broader trend of bias in the media that favors Democrats and undermines the credibility of journalistic institutions. As the discussion unfolds, Shapiro contextualizes the Biden-Hunter situation within a larger narrative of political corruption in America. He argues that the left has historically used power to manipulate institutions for their benefit, leading to a widespread perception of corruption. He cites examples of how Democrats have sought to undermine norms and institutions, including attempts to pack the Supreme Court and abolish the filibuster. Shapiro warns that the current political climate, characterized by a lack of trust in institutions, could lead to a cycle of retaliation where future administrations feel justified in using similar tactics against their political opponents. He emphasizes the need for accountability and the restoration of norms to prevent further degradation of American political life. In a related segment, Shapiro discusses a recent ruling against Elon Musk regarding his compensation plan at Tesla. He describes the ruling as an example of institutional corruption, arguing that it reflects a broader trend of targeting successful individuals in the business world. Shapiro contends that the ruling undermines the principles of free market capitalism and represents an overreach of judicial power. He highlights the absurdity of the ruling, which seeks to void a compensation plan that was approved by Tesla's board and shareholders. Shapiro argues that this decision is indicative of a corrupt system that punishes success and stifles innovation. He expresses concern that such actions contribute to the perception of corruption within American institutions, further eroding public trust. The podcast also touches on the ongoing debate surrounding parental rights and gender transition for minors. Shapiro introduces a guest, Chloe Cole, a detransitioner who shares her personal experience with gender-affirming care. Cole recounts her journey through the medical system, where she was encouraged to transition at a young age without consideration of alternative options. She emphasizes the importance of protecting children from irreversible medical procedures and advocates for a more cautious approach to gender identity issues.